All right, here we go, 12.6. Blazers don't have a timeout. They had to beat the 5-second count to inbound the basketball. Scottie's going to crank a three. It's through!
How many of you remember this? Scottie Pippen in a Blazers uniform bouncing the ball up to his chest and doing the strangest herky-jerky move ever before knocking down the game-winning dagger. This shot would clinch the series for Portland in the second round of the 2000 NBA playoffs and set up the legendary matchup against the Lakers. While there are a lot of memorable playoff game winners that we've all seen 100 times, there are some that fell through the cracks and people quickly forgot about them. So let me remind you of a few from the past 23 years. What up everybody, my name is Stefan and this is Heat Check. Let's get into it.
On a 1-4 offensive formation, Kobe Bryant pulls up for the shot and hits the basket.
Kobe had so many big shots in his career, and this one over Jason Kidd is often overlooked despite the impressive double clutch that he does on the jumper mid-air. If Portland went through Utah to the conference finals, Phoenix was LA's second round matchup on the way to the championship that same year.
Ashburn picked up by Sprewell. On top to Marley. Carter driving inside for the lead. Down it goes!
This is one of the craziest game winners that I've seen, and only a heated rivalry between the Knicks and Miami could produce an unbelievable finish like this. Anthony Carter wins the game for the Heat, but the Knicks would ultimately prevail in Game 7.
Don't waste time here, Jalen Rose. Out in front, Reggie for three. Miller, a three! Bang! Miller gives the Pacers the lead!
While the Sixers famously got all the way to the finals in 01, a lot of NBA fans forget that they started the playoffs with a loss on this dagger by Reggie Miller. And back then, the first round was played to 3 wins, so they were in a tough spot. But as we all know, for Allen Iverson and Philadelphia, the rest is history.
He calls for it. He has it against Ruben Patterson, the Kobe stopper. Bryant dishing off. Horry for three.
In a replay of the Western Conference Finals, LA and Portland met again in 01 and in 02, and both times ended with a sweep, with this one being the only close game decided by Big Shot Bob.
O'Clour's on Kenyon Martin. Kerry Kittle's guarded by Rip Hamilton. Kidd now starts to move with 7 seconds remaining in regulation. Kidd, the jumper to win it. He got it!
When you talk about a forgotten season or a forgotten team, the finals run by the New Jersey Nets in 2003 has to be at the top of the list. But J. Kidd sings the Pistons in the conference finals with this amazing fadeaway over 2 defenders.
Last possession here, Rockets to win the game.
To take a 2-0 lead. Oh, Tracy McGrady!
In typical T-Mac fashion, he takes it coast to coast by himself before stopping on a dime and raising up and knocking it down. Unfortunately, despite winning this game, McGrady infamously never made it out of the first round in his entire career.
Doesn't want to settle for the jumper here. He's got to make something happen.
Nowitzki for the lead.
In 2005, Dirk Nowitzki delivered another one of his patented turnaround one-legged fadeaways in the clutch to tie this second round series at 1 game apiece. However, his old buddy Steve Nash and the Suns would go on to win it in 6 games.
Not close, stolen by Bibby. Ahead to Martin, to the rim. And the Sacramento Kings have won.
Believe it or not, this buzzer beater by Kevin Martin in 2006 against the Spurs was the last Sacramento Kings playoff win, and even worse, this was the last time they even got to the postseason, exactly 16 years ago. So while not everyone remembers this, I'm sure Kings fans at least still do.
Kept it alive, couldn't get it to go.
To the basket, flex it up, banks it in with 1.8 remaining.
In a wild Game 1 of the first round in 08, Tim Duncan first saved the game with an extremely rare 3-pointer to send it into overtime, and after a long battle in a second OT, Manu Ginobili took matters into his own hands and won it with a lefty flip shot in the final seconds. From 2000 to 2010, San Antonio and Phoenix faced each other 6 times in the playoffs, and the Spurs won 4 of those matchups, including this one. The Magic vs the Sixers first round matchup in 2009 is never talked about despite having 3 game winners in 6 games.
Iguodala up top with Turkoglu on him.
5 on the shot clock. Iguodala. Step back over Turkoglu. Got it!
And Turkoglu on the right side, guarded by Thaddeus Young. 5 seconds to go. They're playing for one. Turkoglu with a three-point shot in the air. Bang! He hit it with under a second to go.
First, Andre Iguodala opened up the series with this tough contested step back for the win in Game 1. Then, in the scramble at the end, Thaddeus Young finds himself under the basket and puts it in before the buzzer sounds, giving the Sixers a 2-1 lead. In the very next game, Hero Turkoglu plays the hero, firing away from downtown to save the Magic from going down a 3-1 hole and instead tie the series. And from then on, Orlando didn't look back and wrapped it up in 6 games.
The last shot. Brewer inbounds. Williams plays the clock. Down to 7. Down to 6. Down to 4. 3. Williams. Yes! With 2.2 to go! Darren Williams!
There was a time during his Utah Jazz days when we debated if Darren Williams is the best point guard in the league. This shot reminds you that he was clutch as well. But in this first round matchup, this was Utah's only win against the eventual champion that year, the Lakers.
Boston down by a point. No call made. They would have fouled out Anthony. Here is Allen for 3. Yes!
Ray Allen is also a guy with countless big shots in the playoffs, and as a Knicks fan, this one hurt badly, and to this day, I claim that this was an illegal screen by Kevin Garnett. It would not have changed much though, as the Celtics swept New York in 2011.
Crawford for Atlanta. Shot clock at 4. Crawford for 3. Got it!
Shaking and baking behind his back in the final seconds of the game, Jamal Crawford plays with the hearts and nerves of both teams here before raising up for a contested shot from way downtown and banking it in. Absolutely insane. Atlanta won this matchup 4-2.
They flatten it out in a 1-4 for Miller. Miller on the drive. Got it to fall!
Otherwise known as one of the slower guys in league history, Andre Miller blows by Draymond Green and switches hands mid-air for the buzzer-beating layup. This was the series that Golden State first blew up though, and they went on to win in 6 games. So in the second round, this is what happened.
Here's Ginobili for 3.
A combination of great play call by Greg Popovich and a defensive breakdown by Golden State allows a wide open look for Manu Ginobili, and he punishes the inexperience of the young Warriors in Game 1, and eventually the Spurs win the series.
5 seconds remaining. Bradley bounces home. 1/10 of a second remaining.
While we all remember LeBron dominating the Eastern Conference, here's a forgotten game winner from a role player more known for his defense. Avery Bradley gets the shooter's bounce in Game 3 and wins the game for Boston, but I guess we all know how the series ends. I had a lot of fun digging through and rewatching some of these. Did you find a game winner that you hadn't seen before? Or did I maybe forget a forgotten shot? Let me know in the comments. That's it for now. Subscribe and talk to you in the next one. Peace out.